Alright, hi Gabby. So I'm just making you a little video for more design critique. This looks a lot better. I like the colors. Good job. And thank you for turning this in like at the right time. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and kind of make some edits to this, and I want to show you. And the reason I'm making this video is just so you know, like the full process for making layouts. That way, next quarter you'll be able to do one all on your own. But yeah, so I know you're kind of designing this like without content, so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go through um and just basically just help you on here a little bit, and then the second thing I'm going to do is go through and add some content and start showing you how to do that. So the first thing I notice is these arrows are a little wonky and they almost look really good. I do like them. Like I like the shape. They're very cute. The only thing is I think it would have been better if you kind of rounded these edges. So the way to do that, go to direct selection, and then we're going to go down to the corners, and we're going to select, not rounded on all of them. We're going to select the corners you want to round. So like, I don't think you even need this point right here. I can just delete that. So I'm hitting minus on my keyboard, which is going to pull up this tool. If I right click the pen tool, I get the delete anchor point tool, and I'll delete that anchor point, and then I'm going to hit A or click on direct selection. The A's, by the way, they're called keyboard shortcuts. You could either click things on your keyboard or do that. But anyway, I'm not going to change the shape of this too much. I'm just going to select this point and then hold, oh, you have an extra point there. Oops. Whoopsies. Right here, there's an extra point. Right? Yeah, there. Oh no. Okay, so I'm just going to click A and then hold shift and click on this again, right? And I'm selecting both of those. I'm curving these. That way it's curved, so that already looks a little bit better. And then I'm just going to make this a little bit more symmetrical by moving these over a little bit. I'm going to do the same with this, just so it lines up. And there we go. So I like that. And it still has kind of like a little quirky style to it, and I like it a lot. So I think you did a very, very good job with this. Especially for like something where you're making your own shape, which is a bit difficult. So I'm just clicking on the points with the direct selection tool and adjusting them slightly. And yeah, there we go. I think that's good now. All right, so I'm just gonna take this arrow. I'm gonna copy paste it. Oops. I'm gonna go back to my selection tool, and then I'm gonna just select these and delete them, and then just copy paste this over, so that way it's good. And then I'm gonna make sure, or actually, yeah, I'm gonna take this, copy paste, go up here, flip it, and just gonna make sure these are aligned by selecting one and then selecting the other, holding this one, holding down shift, doing the alignment, which I think you know how to do, because I think I showed you that. The second thing I noticed on this design is that the boxes are not all the same size. You see, if I overlay them, they're all different sizes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna either copy paste, or I'm gonna hold one and I'm gonna hold down Alt on my keyboard. And you see when I press Alt, my mouse turns into two mouses. That way, if I pull this out this way, I get a duplicate. So Alt will duplicate as many times as you want. Just make sure that you hold Alt. Oh, wait, have your selection tool, click Alt, and then click and drag, and then let go of your mouse, and then let go of the Alt key. So anyway, I'm just gonna fix these so they're all the same size. I'm deleting this, but I'm gonna just put this back, just like that. Oh wait, why did it get the wrong color? That's strange. There you go. All right, cool. And yeah, good job with using the grid, by the way, and keeping everything in here, like in like the pink box. You did that perfectly. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this over, and I think you had this one on top, so I'm gonna move it up by hitting Command and then the right bracket. And I'm gonna do the same on this. Now, use 3 different purples here, and I think with this design, it's not really necessary to use that many purples, so I'm gonna use a lighter one just because I like it better. But generally, purple and green, great combination. Good job on that. Once again, I'm clicking Alt, making sure this is aligned, using the eyedropper tool to get that. I'm going to do the same with this. There we go. Now I'm going to select all 3 purple boxes, select this one at the bottom, and come over here and align it using this. So now everything should be lined up. Something cool I'm going to show you is another form of alignment, which is align spacing. But I'm going to do this first. Actually, I'm going to move this down. So I'm going to move this down a little bit because right now it's not really giving the headline a lot of room. So if I select all 3 purple ones, so shift click, so click, shift, click, still holding shift, click, let go of both, and then click this top one. Actually, no, don't click any of them. So just have them all selected, but don't like select one to be your gravity one. And then come over here and to distribute spacing. I'm going to click on this, and it will make the space between these two things the same as this. And now, let's see, so that's 2 boxes. So because this is 2 boxes, I'm going to make sure the space between these two is also 2 boxes. Or it's actually like a little bit different. There you go. So now it's the same. I'm going to move it up. Looks good. And I'm going to just adjust my arrows accordingly. And then afterwards, I'll realign. I'm going to have it overlay a little bit in this direction because I think that looks nice having that teeny little bit of overlay. And same thing over here with like the tiny little bit of overlay. So I'm making sure this small little distance is the same. So this distance right here is the same as this distance. That's something very important when you're designing, that everything, it's just for consistency. But yeah, anyway, so that's how you do that. And then if you click on these 2 things, you can align them the same way and the same way. All right, looks good. Or this one's actually aligned downward. So I'm just gonna make it match basically. There you go. So now it matches. Well, maybe it looks better if it's up. I don't know. Yeah, it looks better up like this. And then this I'm gonna move down. I'm hitting shift and the arrows just to move things up and down, by the way. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I was gonna tell you on that. As for the headline, I think I'm looking at Tatiana's document. This isn't finished. Oh, okay, I like this. Curls and twists. I kind of like that. That's nice. Okay, so we're gonna use curls and twists. So when you're making a headline, or actually, wait. Actually, pause for a second. I want to show you something else. Go to view, hit actual size, and you'll see that this is very big, right? So right now on my computer, if I zoom out, this looks pretty small, but view actual size will make it so this is the real size. So what I do is I put my fingers up to it so I can see like the size, and I imagine holding the box, and you can see that's very large. So it's kind of oversized. So something to do, actually I'm just going to delete the text. Okay, something to do to kind of help with that is to use actual size. I'm going to select all of this, not the headline though, and hit Command G, which is going to group it, and then I'm going to hit Shift, and I'm going to scale this. So right now this looks smaller, but it actually looks better because it's not going to be huge on the page. And another thing that I get out of making these smaller, making these smaller, is I'm going to be able to space them a little bit better so they're not so cramped. So they're smaller now. I'm going to hit Command Shift and G to ungroup, and I'm actually going to stretch these out just a little bit. So it doesn't need to go all the way to the edge. And now I'm going to make sure that these are the same length. So this is space, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half boxes. So, I mean, actually, that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is just to do this again. Never mind. Haha, very funny. There you go. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm just going to make sure it's lined up with the top right here on both sides. Delete these 2 things and move this over. And because I made these a little bit, I made them wider just so more text would fit, by the way. But because these are a bit smaller now, I can afford to space them out more. So I'm moving that up and down. So I'm going to move it down to the bottom. I'm going to do the same here. So once again, 1, 2, 3, shift click. And I'm going to show this down here. So this is, the reason I'm showing you all this is like when you're making your next design, I want you to think about the process. Like I want you, once you're done with your base, I want you to think, okay, now it's time to go through and adjust my spacing. Now it's time to go through and adjust my sizing, right? And now they're kind of big again. But I'm just basically just scaling these proportionally so they look better. But anyway, I want you to think about your spacing and your sizing because you're doing a good job. You really are. You're doing a good job. But don't be afraid to have a bit of white space because it's not going to hurt you. I promise white space does not bite. Don't have like a ton so it looks empty, but having like a moderate amount of white space really adds to the design in general. So that's just something else to keep in mind. And anyway, so yeah, you have to edit for consistency and all sorts of things. Okay, so we're gonna use, what was this called? Curls and twirls. That was a cute headline. So I think we'll use this one right here for curls. Oops, it's kind of big. Is this supposed to be in all caps? Curls. Did we do that last cycle? Did we have all of these in all caps? I'm going up just to look at this old master doc because I feel like we didn't do everything in all caps, but maybe we did. Oh, that's briefs. Yeah, no, it wasn't all caps. Okay. That's fine. So, I'm just gonna take this. Why is it? Oh, because I have caps on, that's why. Okay. Curls right here. And you want to design your headline. So, I'm not sure exactly like which way you think is going to look best to do this, but I'm holding command. Oh, by the way, hold command, hold shift to scale. So curls, curls, like you got and twirls or something. Maybe like, I don't know, just play around with it. Like, this isn't done yet. Curls and twirls. Or maybe it would look better if I did both of these in the italic. I'm thinking about this now. Well, we'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to lay this like in a minute. But before this video gets too long, I just want to show you quickly what I'm thinking for this. So it has a name and a grade. It's gonna have a hair type, and it's gonna have routine, and then a quote. So when we do quotes, they look like this. And now you don't have to put them in a box because we already have a box, but you're gonna use the quote paragraph style for that. This sort of infographic should resemble this. So you're gonna have the quote in the paragraph style that's called quote package text, and you're gonna have the big quote mark called quote mark. And then I'm actually gonna give you the paragraph style for this thing right here. So this type of title has an underline. So if you go up here, you can select an underline, and if you go to your character panel and go to the menu, you can go to underline options and adjust the size of it and also the color, so you can pick one. If you wanted to use your own color, you'd have to add a swatch. And the way that you'd add a swatch would be you'd go up here, or no, you go here, you'd select your color, and you could add to swatches. And then once you pulled up the color under this thing, it would show up probably like at the bottom. So just keep that in mind. But essentially, the quote should be maybe like towards the bottom of this. You can adjust the size of these as well, but the quote should be like towards the bottom of this in that font, which is you have it in the 2022 styles. Don't use these old ones. Like, you can see these all like aren't in the folder. So I'm actually, can I delete these? I'm gonna try to delete these because those are all of our old styles. There you go. Okay, so you only have these now. So the quote package, you have to use the quote marks and the quote text. The names, I'm thinking maybe put like, yeah, in this style. So this style right here, yeah, quote package names. So quote package names for the names, this for the quote. Or then for like the hair type, maybe use this. But basically, you're going to use a combination of those styles to make a nice looking design for inside of each of these boxes, and then leave room for the people. So yeah. Anyway, that is the feedback I wanted to give you. Layout looks really good. Right now, we don't have the finished text, but what I will say is you can start by using this. So I think we're only going to use like one of these quotes. So she has a lot of quotes on here. By the way, you find this if you go on flow and then to layout and then to quarter two, go under hair story and view document. But anyway, we're going to use only like one of these quotes per thing. So just pick one. We'll change it later, but just start designing it with this, and then when the text is updated, we'll just fix the text on here. But essentially, that is my feedback. You did a great job, and yeah. So just, that's your first round edits. Time to do round two.